What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Corey C again with Dwell Skateboards. Right now, I'm very aware that this workspace slash skate park is kind of an issue. So we started doing the graphics in-house, so we got to make room for two. Yeah. So we got to get some type of setup for all of this, and we've had several different half-pipe setups. This one I'm really unhappy with. So we have a really steep, aggressive transition from the transition to the flat on this side. This not as bad, but still not great. But it has soft spots where we probably should have scored the plywood on the back, but instead we just bent it in place. So we're just gonna tear it all apart and see what we can do to correct some of those early mistakes. Okay, so now that we've pulled the skin off of it, it's pretty obvious what I did wrong. And now that I see this, we did this one first, and I kind of learned from the mistakes when we extended it up to the higher one. And when I did this one, I did it what I would consider right. I should have just spanned the distance when we elevated it that way, and that's basically what we're gonna do. So I kind of like how that actually went into place. I think that's going to be just fine. So yeah, we'll just cut another piece of this. We'll make sure this gets where it needs to be to screw it down. Once you screw that down, we'll screw the sides. And this will mostly be done. We'll still have to put the masonite on top of it, but that's something we'll wait until that side is done so that we can connect them and give it a lot smoother of a feel. Come on. You better come get it. Just get it down a little bit and then point it down a little bit. So, like that. So you'll go there, come over a little bit, come over, and you'll work it in order.
Yep, I can get that.
Okay. Alright, so we weren't going to do this whole video in one shot, but I got a better look at it yesterday. This actually went a lot quicker than we thought it would. And this, I could probably put it back and I'd be happy. But what we're going to do is we're going to actually pull this little piece of wood. You can see if you come in closer. There's a little bit of slip where the screws have wiggled themselves out because we drilled directly into the concrete. Since that's happened, we'll go ahead, we'll pull the screws out. We're gonna sand down that edge a little bit more so it's a little more flush. And then we're gonna put the right amount of screws in there because I think it's really mostly the movement that is irritating me when I'm on it. So once we do that, we should be fine. Because we made some adjustments on this, we might actually have to pull this forward by about 2 inches just to get the masonite that we already have cut to fit. At that point, we should be back to normal. It should ride really nice. Okay, let's go see how that fits. Try the broom, Didi. No, it's okay.
Hey!
Yeah.
Remember when we got going to the farmer's market? I didn't feel good and could not fucking figure out why. I cooked with coconut oil.
And you're still eating them.
Couple while I brought them to you.
I'll just do a line there. And then once we trim that off. That actually looks pretty good. And if I'm being honest with myself, absolutely all of this could have been avoided. This whole project was just me being rushed and making dumb mistakes. It is better. Not gonna lie, I'm a little frustrated because it's not very good either. Ultimately, we probably just need to rebuild it with a platform. We need to countersink our screws so they're not click-clacking all over everything. This seam just floating is not my favorite, but I've had it where the transition goes straight to the concrete. They're all on our concrete. That's not my favorite either. Concrete hurts more. You have a split-second transition that you still feel every step of the way, and the concrete's not going to feel like the wood, so you have to adjust to that as well. Not that it won't happen over time anyway, but ultimately, I'd rather have to be like this. My favorite setup we've done is the one that has the platform and the quarter pipes. Problem with that was just that we lost a lot of our height because it was off the ground, but if we did a shallower one, we probably would be just fine. Because realistically, I skate with the garage door open fairly comfortably, so we have a good 18 inches of play anyway. But the one reason we didn't do it that way this time was just budget. Like, we had to do this with only what we had in the garage. And one of the most important things that we needed, we couldn't find, even though I know we have some. So that kind of made this come to a little bit of a screeching halt, and I wasn't going to start tearing apart the garage until we got the half pipe at least tolerable. So that is what we've done. Yeah. Tune in next week for a whole new